Hey, welcome back to Buddy Show. Here's a video the very next day. I think I'm probably going to call this something like Boomers, Beards, and Babes, or Boomers, Babes, and Beards, or something like that. And at the end, I'll tell you a story about another scammer, so stick around so you can see that. The first thing I want to talk about actually is what's going on in Chiang Mai, and I think we're getting near the end of the high season because the heat is coming back. Last week, a week before, I'd get up and it would be under 60 degrees. It was nice, chilly. I get up before dawn because I live in the mountains and dawn doesn't come until about 7 o'clock. And but now, recently it's been very hot. It's probably about 94 now. And I just went out for a walk to the market. Yeah, so that's sun is still shining. It's still beautiful here. It's just that the weather's coming back. And it'll soon be the burning season where farmers up here in the north and in Myanmar, Burma, start burning their fields, and it kind of pollutes up the air. So I'll let you know how that goes. So, feminism. I had posted on my Facebook. I have a friend who keeps asking me about, send me a wife. And first of all, I'm going to say, Norman, if you get a foreign girlfriend, don't bring her back to the U.S. You're not Brad Pitt or wealthy, but here you can be both. And so one of the women I graduated with will tell you, she's my age, she came on and said, well, all these women want are fat wallets. And that's insulting. Why do Western women feel like they know what's best for the rest of the women of the world? Women in Southeast Asia are very traditional. Age gap relationships are not unusual, whether it is with a Westerner or someone of their own country. It's just not unusual. A woman wants a man who is experienced and stable and not going to flit around and waste his money. And that was, that's just like, first of all, it comes down to, okay, you have no practical experience of Asian culture. Everything you know comes from someone else. And generally that someone else is the Mockingbird mainstream media. So it's some, socialist man bun or feminist woman saying, oh, well, the women of Southeast Asia, all they want is a paycheck, or it's just not true. It's just not true. There are many, many, many successful age gap relationships. Does a woman want you to take her out of poverty? Of course she does, if she's in poverty. Many of them aren't. I have a friend, John. He left Mexico just before I did and went to the Philippines and met a doctor who is a professor at a local university. So, this idea that, first of all, that any of us as Westerners should decide the viability or the correctness or anything about another culture is simply wrong. So, enough of that rant. I could go on a lot longer about that. Basically, what it comes down to is Western women are jealous. End of story. They hate to see Western men of their age dating, cohabitating with, and even marrying, and even fathering children of younger, more attractive, beautiful Asian women. Right, so this is the title, Facial Hair in Southeast Asia. Now, my friend Gio has often said that Asian women don't like facial hair. In fact, when I first moved here, I believe I shaved my beard off. And then I wasn't getting much traction with women, so I just said, I'm more comfortable having, my goatee, which is actually a Van Dyke, back again. So I grew it. And then I started dating and seeing the woman who I discussed last time. I'm not going to use names anymore because Thailand has crazy laws like that. She would scratch my beard and say, sexy, sexy. And I grew it out and it was even more sexy, sexy. I say it that way because generally the last word of a sentence, or in this case first and last word, is the last syllable is emphasized. So my name in Thai sounds like Budi. So I have gone on and started chatting with Filipinas and others on Dayton, Asia, and I didn't broach the subject with women on Thai Friendly, so it's just been since I've been on this channel. And you know, oh, you're so handsome. And some of these, I mean, they're like 21-year-old, 28, 35-year-old women. And I say, well, what about my beard? She said, oh, no, it's very sexy. It makes you look good. She said, you know, and they say, I'm sure you're handsome anyway, but the beard is just an enhancement, and we like it. So with all due respects to Gio, his information, it may be for the women he has dated, be correct, but my personal experience is if you look good, you look good. If you don't, they'll probably overlook it because they want to get out of poverty, and they like older men because of our experience and stability, and they like foreigners because we are exotic. I have blue eyes, and they are nuts about blue eyes. Terms of affection. Do not be surprised if the woman you are wanting to date and chatting with calls you dear or darling or sweetheart right away. It's the nature also of these cultures is women tend to fall in love at the drop of a hat. Tend to. It's you know, it's everyone is unique. It's the same with the beard. One woman said to me, well, you know, just like you, we're not all the same. Some will like it and some will not like it. And so it's up to you to decide what is your Filipina, your Thai woman, your Vietnamese woman worth to you. If she would prefer you clean shaven, will you do it? Well, that's up to you. I have not found facial hair to be at all an issue. Which leads us to the last story, and that's the scammer. So I ran into another scammer, another again, just stunningly beautiful, or at least the picture in the dating site was. And we chatted for a long time, and you know, she was going. Then it got to be, I want to come see you. I said, okay, you know, let me know when you get here, and I'll pick you up at the airport. And she said, and I know where this is going to because I've already gone through it. I can't afford my passports. I can't afford the passport or the ticket. I said, oh, okay. Well, did you read my profile? Which says at the very end, please don't ask me for money. Now, she could have been absolutely honest about this. And if I had sent her the money, she could have came, and she knew she'd have to sleep with me. So that was all put out ahead of time. But I can't take the risk. I'm not going to send her whatever the cost of a Filipino passport and then a flight here and a return flight. Obviously, we wouldn't have to pay for a hotel because I live here. Would be, and if I wanted to, and I'm just not willing to risk that kind of money. I got another thing from a woman in Bangkok, stunningly beautiful, offering to be a rental wife. But again, I'd have to, and she said 1,500 baht. Again, it's like $40 or less. You can look it up. And so it's not the money, but I don't want to send good money and not have a return. If I wanted to rent a wife, I could just get a freelancer here on the dating site for the same or less money, 1,000 baht, maybe 1,500 baht, or go to Walking Street and go to a bar and get a bar girl. The advantage of a freelancer is they'll come to you, you pay them directly, and you don't have to pay a bar fine. Now, I'll talk about bar fines and bar girls in a different video, but I'm not going to do that. I mean, I'm sure she was a lovely woman. Can I be sure that she wasn't a scammer? No, so I'm just not going to send the money. I just want to reiterate, if you are in another country and not in the country you intend to settle in, I mean, if you're shortly away from that, if you're 6 months away from wanting to move to a particular country, sure, go on the dating sites. Go on the dating sites just to look, particularly date in Asia. There are scammers on there, you're going to see it, but you'll become more experienced at it. The moment they ask you for money, say, no, I'm sorry, we're done. There's a lot of them on there. I want to be nice and I want to be fair, and I want them to be nice and I want them to be fair. And so that's where I am with that. I don't know what the next one's going to be about. I do want to start releasing a little more regularly to bump up my channel. But until then, take care of each other, take care of yourselves, like and subscribe, and stay frosty.